Hello, this message is for moms and dads. I know that many of you may be bringing um, little people and even teenagers back home to learn because of COVID-19 and because of school districts maybe shutting down. And so I just was watching this on the news and thought, what could I share maybe with moms and dads in order to help? Because I realize as a former homeschool mom myself. There was a time when uh, in sixth grade, and my youngest one hadn't even started kindergarten yet. It was my husband's idea to homeschool, and at first I thought, I just finished a PhD. That is not part of my plan. And I'm sure many of you out there, considering all the changes that have gone on around us, especially when it comes to having your children learn from home, and you working from home, this was not part of your plan. And so, with that, I had to kind of really think. Now, I had a choice. And so I was blessed that with the choice, I went on and decided that homeschooling was the best option, not really considering how to balance that with working from home as a career consultant at the time, and then also having two elderly parents who were pretty able bodied. But daddy was legally blind, so he could not drive him and mama different places. So I was also the chauffeur in getting them to doctor's appointments, the grocery store, going to the pharmacy, pick up medicine. So there was a lot that fell onto these shoulders. And so with that, I also found myself eventually feeling quite overwhelmed. It also didn't help that I was a perfectionist at the time. I like to call myself a recovering perfectionist now. But I wanted to do everything well and not recognizing that I had limitations. And eventually it all showed up to whereby I could tell, especially with the youngest one who was in kindergarten, trying to teach him how to read. That was tough. One of my greatest accomplishments, but yet and still tough. And trying to work and take care of mom and daddy. And so eventually I found that I didn't really like who I was becoming. I found that I was frustrated. My fuse was short. Sometimes I was like, does this kid just not want to learn this stuff? And so found myself getting more frustrated with him. And eventually I was like, you know what? I think I just want to go back and be mom again. And so with that, wind up, I felt like I was Moses's mom. And instead of me being what I considered to be a safe place for him, because I was irritable, I was frustrated, I was fussy, um, I decided to put him in that basket and send him up that river and send him to school. And I realized a lot of parents don't have that option. But in that, I'm very blessed. He had a teacher that was very loving and kind, and met up with several teachers loving and kind. But along the way, he was ill a lot in school. He caught every virus and cold that there was to catch. So eventually, lovingly, I wound up bringing him back home. And before that time, yeah, I think it was before that time, I also experienced my own health issues and burnout. And I can remember at the beginning of teaching them, just telling my husband, I was like, I think I need more patience. I need more, I need to pray for more patience. And my husband looked at me and he said, no, you don't need more patience. You need more love. And at first I was taken back. I was like, excuse me, I'm a very loving person. I'm a very kind person. I'm a loving mama. But I recognized along my wellness journey that that's exactly what I needed more of. But I needed to learn how to love me better so that I could love on them better. And I was struggling with trying to balance working from home, homeschooling them, and being a caregiver to mom and dad. And so my burnout proved to be a gift for me because it gave me the opportunity to really assess that I needed to learn new ways of living. I needed to learn new habits so that I could show up as my best self for the people that I loved and cared for. And so I can remember, with me asking for patience, my husband saying I needed more love. And sure enough, there's a scripture that says love is patience. So it put the two together. Love is patient. And so I can remember teaching my son one day as I had brought him back home. Now he's older. And we were working on, I think it was a math problem. And again, he was struggling. He wasn't getting it. But this time, I learned how to lean into my emotions. I learned how to acknowledge what I was feeling instead of trying to tamp it down because that hadn't worked before. And I didn't like who I was before in regards to how I reacted to it. And so I had learned that I wanted to learn how to respond differently, not react, but respond. There's a difference. And so while I'm helping him with his math problems, I could sense the tension and the frustration rising up and getting stressed over it. And I thought, what do I want to do this time? So I told him, I said, listen, son, mama needs to step away for a minute. And so I took a time out, put myself in time out, took a time out. And I immediately remembered that scripture, love is patient. And I said, you know what? I want to be that. I want to be patient. And so he had been taking, practice exams and quizzes as we were going over this problem in order to assess his learning. And he was not doing well. He was making like 50s and 60s, something like that. And so as I had stepped away, decided I wanted to be patient, I decided I'm going to go back and work with him, but this time really go at his pace. What did patience look like for me? It looked like going at his pace, going slower, taking my time, explaining things over again until he had a better sense of what he was learning and he could really show me he was understanding it. So it was really about just going slow, not rushing the process, taking the time with him. That was more important than the grade now. It was the effort we were willing to put into it and how we approached working that problem. After I did that, he took the quiz again. That next time, he made a 100. And I knew that how we approached the situation more lovingly this time, patient, love is patient, helped him really soak in all that knowledge because now he wasn't feeling my stress. He wasn't feeling my pressure. And so he was calm and he was able to get it. And I knew then love was patient was my answer as I helped facilitate really his learning. And so I hope that for parents who are out there homeschooling and you've got to facilitate learning at home and you've got work and clients and all of these things, as you're sitting one-on-one with that child, as you're trying to help them maybe get it, remember, what does patience look like for you? Because they're going to feed off of your energy. They're going to feed off of your demeanor and how you approach the situation. And when they see you approaching it calmly, when they see you approaching it at a relaxed and not a rushed pace, it's going to impact their ability to learn that material. And then the second thing I wanted to suggest is there are some times when we just didn't feel like learning. We were tired that day. And I know there are some parents, from what I hear on the news, you haven't gotten all the resources and the materials from the school district. And so you feel like, oh, my kid is falling behind because we don't have all the tools and have all the resources. On those days when we didn't necessarily feel like doing homeschool lessons, I had them grab a book, go do some reading. And if you've got books or something, books in your house that the children can read, you can at least know that they're soaking up some information. They're soaking up some knowledge. They're at least reading until you're waiting on those resources from the school district to come into you. So this way, it doesn't feel like the days that you're waiting are at a loss. because they're at least reading. There were times when I'd say, read the book and then, highlight the words you don't understand and then go look them up in the dictionary so that some learning was taking place. And then the last thing I want to share is now my babies are 23 and 17. The youngest one is finishing up. Well, he's in 11th grade, so he's at home now, and I'm facilitating his learning. He has a teacher. He has a teacher for all 7 of his classes, but I do facilitate the learning at home. But I can tell you this much: I cherish the years that I had with my babies. They grow up so fast. And so just know that their presence and your presence in their life, your presence is a present and it is a gift. It is something to be thankful for because we don't get this time back with our kiddos. We just don't get the time back. So I now look back at the time that I was working and I was taking care of mom and daddy and I was homeschooling. Those days actually now are very precious to me because my boys and we have a good relationship. And it's because we had an opportunity to spend the time together that they would have otherwise been spending 8 hours, at school. In fact, it got to the point where I didn't understand sometimes parents who were like, I can't wait for school to start. I can't wait for school to start. I can't wait for them to go back to school because I was like, I love being with my kids. I love being with them. And so I hope this just gives you an opportunity to just, see this time with them. If they're coming back home and you're juggling and you've got so many things going on, hopefully some of these words that I've shared with you will just help you to see that this is really a time to cherish. This is really a time to cherish. They'll be grown up and gone soon enough. And when they are, hopefully you can look back at this time as a beautiful gift that was given to you. Okay, I hope I've used my words well. Until next time, bye-bye.